Aloha class. This week we're talking about total rewards. Now I wanted to take some time to talk about some common benefit administration issues, specifically in setting up a benefits package. Now, there's four main things I want to chat about in this brief video. First is who should be covered in a benefits package. How many choices should employees have among those array of benefits? Third, how should benefits be financed? And then last but not least, are the benefits legally defensible? So I want to touch on all four of these topics today. Now the first issue, who should be covered, seems like it would be an easy question, but the answer is employees, of course. But every organization has a variety of different employees with different statuses. We have part-time, we have full-time, we have contract, we have interns, just a variety of different statuses. So should these individuals be treated equally with respect to the benefits coverage, or do we want different benefits for different groups of people? Different employment statuses would be a better terminology. Now, there's a series of questions we typically want answers to, or we want to answer when we're asking this question. What probationary period for the eligibility of those benefits should be used for the various types of benefits? Do we want to cover employees and their dependents immediately upon employment, or do we want to give them a 30-day notice or a 30-day wait period or something like that, a probationary period? Is there rationale for the different probationary periods with the different benefits? Maybe we want our full-time employees to be eligible for 401k immediately, but we want our part-time employees to wait 6 months. So those are the types of things we might see with that. Which dependents of the active employees should be covered? Do we want to cover their immediate family? Do we want to cover just them, or just their spouse, or just their spouse if their spouse doesn't have coverage? So those are some questions that we want to address. We also want to explore retirees. Do we want to cover retirees on our benefits? And if so, which benefits? Do we want to cover them in medical and dental and vision, or just in medical? Do we want to cover them in life insurance? So things like that. What about the survivors of the deceased employees or the retirees? Do we want to cover them, and if so, which benefits? What coverage, if any, should be extended to employees who are suffering from disabilities? Another thing we want to explore is what coverage, if any, should be extended to the employees during their layoffs, leaves of absence, strikes, and so on. Do we want to pause their benefits as well? Do we want to continue to pay for those benefits? Or do we want the employee to pay? Things like that. Now, to answer these questions, it's going to depend on the policy decisions regarding the adequacy, competition, and cost effectiveness. So there's a lot of different things to take into consideration in that regard. Now, the second administrative concern that we often see is choice or flexibility in the plan coverage. Now, in the standard benefit package, employees typically have not been offered a choice among employee benefits. A package is designed with the average employee in mind, and any deviations needs simply go unsatisfied. So, for example, my husband was in the military. I never needed medical insurance through my employer. So it was either you take it or you don't. You don't typically get, can I use those costs towards something else? So that's not something common that we see. But that's a great example. Now, the other extreme is representing a cafeteria style or a flexible benefit plan. We still see them sometimes in corporate America. We don't see them nearly as much as I would like to see them, but they do, some places do offer them. And this is the concept where employees are permitted great flexibility in choosing the benefit plans that are greatest value to them. So they are presented with 12 or 15 different benefit plans and a set dollar amount. They take that dollar amount that the employer is going to pay, and they get to pick and choose what benefits they want to apply it to. So in the example of my example, not needing medical, I might take that extra money that the employer is putting in toward medical for other people and apply that maybe to dental or to 401k or something like that. So cafeteria style is very employee-centric. Now, the third administrative issue that involves the question of How to finance the benefit plan. Now, some alternatives include non-contributory. This is where the employer pays the total cost. The employee doesn't pay anything. We see that in a lot of big organizations, as well as organizations that really want to take care of their employees. So we do still see that, not quite as much as we would like, but sometimes employer pays the entire cost. Then we have our contributory, and this is where the costs are shared between the employer and the employee, and the employer gets to determine what that cost will be. Now, it could also be completely employee financed, so the employee pays the total cost for some benefits, and by law, the organization must bear the cost of certain benefits as well. Finally, benefits have to comply with hundreds of sections of tax code and other laws. Because there are so many rules and regulations, benefit administrators should develop a compliance checklist and regularly conduct audits to ensure that they're complying with the avalanche of new and existing requirements. So just as a brief recap, there's 4 main administrative issues that we tend to see when we're setting up a benefits package, and that is who should be protected or benefited, how many choices should employees have among those benefits, how should employees be financed, and last, are the benefits legally defensible?